Let me cook for a second. I'm a life and relationship expert. Dating one man at a time is the stupidest that you could ever do in life. The reason why this is so stupid is because when you date one man at a time, you have nothing to compare him to. You have nothing to compare him to. Do you know what else you trick yourself into believing when you date one man at a time? You trick yourself into believing that you like him more than you actually do. Listen to me, sis.
The amount of information that's given out that's destructive to women outweighs the information that actually helps women. This guy right here is nothing more than a grifter. Any guy that understands female nature knows that women prefer comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. This is why Derek Jackson, Dr. Phil, Simp Harvey, all these niggas, the biggest people in relationship coaching, they give a very female-centered approach to dating. Someone sent me this clip right here, and this shit was too crazy. And given the fact that we're covering being a simp today, this kind of fits perfectly with the topic at hand. If you guys don't want to end up like Akash, or what I like to call him, Akash ATM, right? That's basically what he's become now at this point. You don't want to be like this guy right here. Okay, here's a clip.
It's the stupidest shit that you can ever do in life. Let me cook for a second. I'm a life and relationship expert. Dating one man at a time is the stupidest shit that you could ever do in life. The reason why this is
So this guy's giving advice to women, right? He's saying the dumbest thing you could do is date one man at a time.
Stupid is because when you date one man at a time, you have nothing to compare him to. You have nothing to compare him to. Do you know what else you trick yourself into believing when you date one man at a time? You trick yourself into believing that you like him more than you actually do. You don't even like him like that, but you don't have any other options. Do you know what else you trick yourself into believing when you date one man at a time? That you have to put up with a gang of bullshit. Why? Because you have no other options. Why? Because you're sick of being lonely. Why are you in a committed situationship? He is not your man. What are you being loyal to? The only way in this world to find out what you like is to find out what you don't like. He's corny, he's whack, but you'll deal with it. Why? Because he's the only man in your phone, and your phone is dried. You need to date as many men as possible. And then you start what's called a process of elimination. Listen to me, sis. These men manipulate you. Well, I can't take a woman serious that dates multiple men. Get your weak ass out of here. Click the link in the bio and book your session today. One man at a time.
And then a nigga drops some shameless plug right after, man. Oh, man. Yo, can I be honest with you niggas real quick? Huh? Can I be honest with you guys? I hate talking to these bimbos on after hours, okay?
Welcome, punch!
We've been doing it for 5 years now. We've come to the conclusion that most have double-digit IQ, lack comprehension skills, lack critical thinking skills, literally are overgrown, petulant children. And regardless of their education, their background, their race, where they're from, a lot of them tend to be idiots, okay? And when I say that they're idiots when it comes to being an attractive partner for a man, okay? They have no problem with being hot and getting a man, but they have a serious problem with retaining a man. And every time I'm like, man, this shit, I'm tired of these 304s. I see a video like this that reminds me, oh shit, I can never stop, because people watch morons like this dude, women putting out bullshit all over the place. So my content, right? There's far too many simps and female enablers, right? Bad female actor enablers that give bad advice where I can't afford to ever leave. That makes sense, chat? The amount of information that's given out that's destructive to women outweighs the information that actually helps women. You guys got to understand that we live in the United States of America. America is a capitalist country, which means earning money is the number one thing, okay? Free markets, trade, all the shit. If your goal is to make money as a coach, right, or to make yourself as marketable as possible, right, you're going to have a more lukewarm take on relationships, male and female intersexual dynamics. You're going to give a more middle-of-the-road approach. Why? Because when you give a middle-of-the-road approach, what ends up happening is you're able to appeal to people that are more conservative, people that are also progressive. And by doing this, you're effectively able to double your base, which creates more income. Okay? This is precisely why Anus and Reach, aka Sodom and Gomorrah, aka Apples and Peaches, aka the two Fruity Loops from Canada, when they give their reaction videos, they give a very centrist approach, despite the fact that both of them are flaming liberals. And there's a meticulous financial strategy behind that. When you pivot too hard to one side, what ends up happening is you ostracize half of your potential audience. Now, the benefit to this is you build a cult-like following, people really respect you, and people know that you're at least true to yourself. The negative is that censorship always becomes a problem. People call you an extremist. You're not as appealable to a wider demographic, right? So this guy right here, right, understands capitalism and business. And when it comes to capitalism and business, who spends roughly 80% of the household income? Who controls 3/4 of the debt? It's women, okay? It's women. So if your goal is to be as profitable as possible, marketing to men might not necessarily be the most lucrative way to go, because men, when they buy, they typically want to buy or get coaching services or take advice from someone that's accomplished in the field they're trying to learn. Men are merit-based, right? I could tell a guy, hey, you're a fat piece of shit, go to the gym, you're a loser. They'll take that information in, internalize it, feel a little bit of pain, and say, you know what? You're right. And they'll make the changes needed. Women don't operate that way. When you give women the hardcore truth, they get more angry about the way that you say it to them or the way you present the information, where everything said after that doesn't matter, regardless of whether the information is life-saving or not. So this guy understands to market to women, you have to tell them what they want to hear, okay? I got to give a quick shout out to my guy. I don't know if you guys know him, Mr. Lucario. See, I never forget my friends. I remember years ago, me and Lucario were talking, and I noticed that he had a female channel. He had a female dating channel. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Lucario is a dating coach, right? And he had a YouTube channel for men, and then he had one for women. And I asked him, I was like, hey, bro, what's the biggest difference between coaching men versus coaching women? And, you know, I kind of already knew the answer to this, but it was fascinating because he actually had done it hundreds of times. And he said, with the men, I could be as honest as I need to be. I can say it how I need to say it. I can ridicule them. I can keep it real. With the women, I have to focus more on how I present the information to them versus the information. If I don't put it out in a palatable way, they don't care. And keep in mind, guys, these are women that like already watch him. Does that make sense? So this is like a warm audience. You still have to put the gloves on when you dispense this information to them, right? So this guy right here is nothing more than a grifter, because any guy that understands female nature knows that women prefer comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. I'm going to say that again for you guys, right? Really internalize this shit, because if Akash had taken some of this info, he wouldn't be in the situation he's in. Women prefer comforting lies over uncomfortable truth. This is why Derek Jackson, Dr. Phil, Simp Harvey, all these niggas, the biggest people in relationship coaching, Dr. Oz, all these guys, they give a very female-centered approach to dating. You guys notice that? All the mainstream people, the big Brian Hussey, like all the biggest dating coaches are super pro-woman and pro-woke. Why is that? It's because they tell women what they want to hear a lot of the times. And also, talking about the shit that I talk about in the way that I talk about it, right, where we say women are and shit like that, that isn't really good for advertisers, okay? It just isn't. So with them, they understand that if your goal is to make money and be profitable, you have to deliver your message in a certain way. And if that means sugarcoating it, so be it. But that is one of the biggest distinctions and differences between men versus women.